Hi, I'm recording this video for the drow ranger. He made a post on Reddit saying that he's frustrated because he doesn't know how to win. He has 2,500 hours and he's only 2k MMR, or 2,000 hours and 2,500 or something. That's about average rank. You shouldn't feel bad about being an average rank when you have an average to below average amount of playtime. But, you know, he said that basically he makes some mistakes, but he can't imagine how he's still losing. He was master in StarCraft and good at chess. So I'm gonna make this video and just go over some stuff quickly because I think it's probably easier than typing up a post with timestamps. So my credentials are: I have an okay amount of MMR. It's not that impressive. It's North America rank, but you know, high 6K is good. So I have some idea of what I'm talking about here. You shouldn't think of me as an authority. Think of me as a student who's later in the curriculum than you. And that's how you should think of anyone. No one's really an authority. Okay. So, your starting items. Quelling Blade is a good starting item because you can intuit that you're laning against Nature's Prophet and Necrophos. In the draft, when he picked his hero, he last picked this drow, according to Dota Buff. He saw every hero in the game except for Shadow Fiend. So, drow is good against Necro. I don't think it's the best into Nature's Prophet, but I'm not a carry player or a Nature's Prophet player, so I don't know. But I'm a Necro player. I'm a Master Tier Necro, and it's a really miserable matchup, so that's a good pick. However, there's a Shadow Shaman and a Nature's Prophet, which you can reasonably assume you're either going to be against the NP or the Lion here. Shaman Drow can die pretty easily to a stun or a sprout, followed up by some Necrophos stuff. It's not the worst pick, but I do think the execution barrier is pretty high here. If you're out of position once, you're going to die pretty quick. I looked at another replay of yours, but you were AFK at the start, so I didn't look at it. You pretty much stand in the spot, you know, both of these replays. That's fine. It's pretty risky, though. If they walk at you, you're definitely dead. You might want to be a little more defensive and see if they show elsewhere first. But a first blood isn't that bad, really. If it's at the 5-man rune fight, 5 men on one person, it doesn't matter that much. Okay, so you don't creep block at all, which on Radiant, if you don't want to creep block on Radiant because then the wave will go behind your tower. But on Dire, I think you want to creep block a little bit. So what happens here? Like, how does this lane start? You don't see Necro. That's good. So you see this guy get stunned and you immediately start using your frost arrows. That's good. And now, right now, you're going to want to back off because you see Necrophos. But you're a little too aggressive. Your camera placement wasn't the best. Turns out there is a lion here. And that, even if you lived there, it's honestly better that you died because you would have had no health. And right here, we're going to see, for one thing, you were way too aggressive. This hero is very, very bad level 1. This spell is basically not an ability. It's a 10% move slow, which is like, who cares? And then 6 damage, which is incredibly weak. So you want to be very careful level 1. Instead, you got too far forward, and sure, you might not have died if Lion wasn't there, but you would have lost well over half your health between NP clicking you. I saw a Blightstone debuff. You should always check what the enemy has in lane, so you know he has a Blightstone, so he can hurt you a lot. That's a bold Necrophos starting build, but you know, he clicks pretty hard with it. And you spent all this money on tangos when you can just ferry out another set of tangos pretty much instantly. Think about how you might have lived if you had only one set of tangos and 3 branches instead. So already, I mean, we're not even a minute into this game and I've already listed like a whole bunch of mistakes that you could use to optimize your play. So let's go on more in this lane and see how that changes. Or see if that changes, I should say. I need to turn this game down. It's way too loud. Question mark from Shaman. Classic. Okay. Not missing some last hits here, but you know that happens. Good last hit on the range creep. interesting choice to go hit that camp. I don't think I would do that. So something else that you need to understand, this is a dual range versus dual range lane. Ranged heroes don't have an 8 damage block. When a melee hero gets hit, they block an average of 8 damage. I think it's 50% for 16, so on average of 8. They block an average of 8 damage from right clicks. So, creeps do 21 damage on the melees, and I think it's like 28 on the range creep or something? 23 on way off. Well, regardless, you have 59 damage. 2 of these creeps is about equal to 1 hero. So, you need to really, really not get hit by creeps. In a dual range versus dual range lane, the most important thing is that you have more creeps than the enemy at all times. You don't really want to be pulling in this kind of lane. And of course, you know, you're not your shaman. But you can offset this by shoving the lane as hard as you can. What you want to do is keep the wave far up and just bully them every time they try to do anything. If you have more creeps in them, they can't do shit to you. Because they're just going to take so much damage from the right clicks from the creeps. You can be very aggressive while your shaman pulls to deny XP, and you can really, really dominate the lane and shut them out as drow. This very passive play, only hitting the wave to last hit, this is really going to handicap your game. Okay, so your hero has frost arrows. Frost arrows let you orb walk, meaning if you press your Q button or whatever button they're on, doesn't matter. If you press your button to cast it on the enemy, you won't draw creep aggro. So right here, there's no reason not to just start hammering Q into Necrophos. You don't take advantage of it very much, and you also tank a lot of creeps there. Don't get that deny. So this is something that I can't give you advice on. It just, you have to understand, missing uncontested last hits and denies is very bad, especially if it's a ranged creep. There's a last hit trainer, and I recommend you try to focus on that. I have a friend who's getting into the game, and I told him to do that a bit before he plays every time, because it's so hard to like improve on anything strategic if you can't execute on the mechanics. So right now you have less creeps in them. I'm not going to harp on that because I already brought it up. But going on him here is extremely risky. Luckily it works out, NP's nowhere nearby. And you manage to deny some XP from him. So right now you need to be attacking this creep wave as much as possible, because you're about to be under your tower. Yeah, with a Blightstone on you. They can, you know, punish us way harder if they were playing like melee heroes or whatever. Also, something else is it's harder to last hit under tower. I think of being under the tower last hitting, it's like you're stunned, because it takes so much focus and priming to last hit under the tower. It's like you're stunned because you have to interact with the creep so much. The other guy can just click you and you can't do anything about it, or else you miss last hits. So let's look at some more stuff here. Missed a stack. I think you missed that stack, which is not great. So this is actually where you would want the lane. You would want to be hyper aggressive in this matchup. But instead, Necrophos is about to get a whole lot of money. Which is going to make your game very hard, because I played this matchup on both sides. And if the drow lets the Necro get to level 5 without contesting very much, it's very bad. And right now he's going to get there. Also, you can... Wait, is that... Oh yeah, that's your own ward. I see. That's your ally's ward. It's blocking that camp. But you don't want that camp blocked if you're a ranged hero, because like I said, you want to stay aggro on this guy and just pull this hard camp when you can. Okay, you were doing what you should have there, but you could have gotten some more clicks off. Alright, good. That's a free kill. And you might have killed Necrophos too if he wasn't such a high level so early. Ooh, that was not great. So you have extremely low health. Your shaman has no mana, so even if he was here, he wouldn't be able to do anything but right click. There's just no reason to man up on a hero that's stronger than you when you're at a creep deficit. Like, you're starting to take damage from these creeps, and you're taking damage from this MP teleportation. It's just a pretty big overextension. Something that you said in the thread was that you don't think you're at fault for losing many of these games, but so far, from what I've seen in this game, you are certainly at fault. Or rather, you could have won this game if you played better and won your favorable lane matchup with last pick. Yeah, that's deranged by the Nature's Prophet. Feel like he didn't have to die there. But you get ganked, and you're very weak. Necrophos is very strong. And this is basically the worst case scenario for drow. She's not good at going jungle pre-6, but you're also very weak, and it's going to be hard to show in lane. Something else I got to point out is you don't have a magic wand against Necrophos and Nature's Prophet, who like to press their spells on you. I really hate that. I think that wand can save your life a lot in this game. Skipping it is, you know, an advice that I give to newer players, or not newer, but lower ranked players, is just buy wand every game. You'll be right about 85% of the time, and you'll regret it very rarely. And so yeah, he's level 6 before you, so your damage is not very high, and he can just Reaper Scythe you. Very hard game at this point. I'm actually surprised the game went as long as it did, and you recovered to a 9-9. So now you're switching to Morbid Mask to go jungle. I don't think... I'm going to check Dota 2 Pro Tracker real quick. I don't think people do that, even in bad games. Although maybe there's going to be no data because no one plays this hero because she's... No, she's played an okay amount. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't see any Mask of Madnesses or Morbid Masks or anything. So I don't think that's your best pickup. I think once you get to your ultimate, it's pretty unnecessary. You can just kite the creep camp and kill it pretty easily. I'm assuming you've identified you can't lane anymore. But this is not the way to go about it. It's only 18% lifesteal. Not very good. People really only buy the Morbid Mask if they get a Satanic. So this is good. You have more force in the area than them, so you punish. Let's see. There was no one in the lane right there. You knew Necrophos was dead, so it's very strange that you would hit the large camp or the small camp, which gives like, I don't know, 100 gold maybe, instead of using multi-shot on this creep wave. That's a lot of gold lost. Am I crazy? I think. Yeah, so Necrophos is dead, and he's just now teleporting in. Yeah, you could have multi-shotted that wave. And you can also multi-shot the wave relatively safely anyway at this point with your ultimate. This does give you more agility. I think the scale's actually off agility directly. Base damage, which is also going to be factored in from your agility. Ooh, this is a pretty bad mistake unless the Shadow Fiend's on here and I missed it. I am going at 2x speed, so I'm not able to notice as many things. So the Shadow Fiend is here. Okay, that was good to back. That was good. I thought you must have been backing for that reason. But now you need to get out of here. This camp is not worth your life. This camp is also not worth your life. Luckily, they don't push and put an obs here. So now you're just gonna try to shove this wave out and then hit the side jungle as much as you can. I think I'm probably gonna stop here because this is not the situation this hero ever wants to be in, especially if you last pick it. This hero is just not very good if you lose your lane. And you lost your lane because, in brief, your positioning was way, way too aggressive on a very weak early hero. You did not abuse the fact that you have better range on Necrophos and an Orb Walk to click him every time he tried to approach the wave. And you just eventually got so far behind by not last hitting well and not denying well and not positioning well and dying for it that you just couldn't lane into the Necrophos, and now you're forced to go jungle, which is pretty bad for drow. I would say drow is one of the best carries in the game at taking the enemy tower early. And she wants to get like a 9-minute Midas where she stomps her lane. That's what Yatoro likes to do on this hero. I don't like the itemization. I think that if you had a wand, it's like an extra 80 health or something, and you would have had a huge heal, so you might have survived that Reaper Scythe. So yeah, a lot of things that you can improve on, and I think these are things that if you take time to reflect on and watch your replays, like a lot of players do, that you would have come to the conclusion yourself that, yeah, that positioning was bad. But why was the positioning bad? Well, my hero's weak. You can think of these things yourself. And yeah, I think that's about it. Don't get discouraged. Everyone goes on losing streaks sometimes, but you can learn something from every game. And the two replays I watched in particular, I would definitely say I would put you mostly at fault for losing the game. So I think that you have a lot of control in these games. Nobody's playing optimally enough to punish stuff. So yeah, keep at it, and I'm sure you'll improve.